Woo, y'all, so I am very surprised. This is the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion part 1. The ladies, they brought it. They brought it. I really enjoyed this reunion, and I was surprised because some of the ladies who I didn't think would bring it brought it. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. So first we open with a little behind the scenes tea, the ladies getting ready. Andy's going by talking to a few of them. As far as best dress, I would say Whitney, even though she looks like the Queen of Christmas. I do like Meredith's outfit as well. Mary's outfit, it would look good if it didn't have that fur trim. Like if it was just that gold, I would have been like, okay, Mary. And then the hair is vastly improved. Vastly. She heard us and she listened. So I got to give her points for that. Shout out to Mary for getting that fixed. I thought Jen would kill it because, she has a whole team behind her, but somebody on Twitter says she looks like Shiva from Mortal Kombat, and now I can't unsee it. So they get their little hellos out the way, and this set, kudos to production. It is Winter Wonderland, even though I'm guessing they were going for Utah. It's definitely given North Pole. So they get right into it. Messy ass Andy reads a question from somebody who I'm assuming is black, is asking Mary, like, what is up with your hair, girl? There ain't no black salons in Salt Lake City. Apparently she listened, y'all, and she even acknowledged it. She was just like, yeah, I missed the mark, and here I am. So we're getting to a very uncomfortable swinger talk that's connected to Mormonism, and I don't know, like Lisa's starting to get offended. She looks like she's the headmistress of all things Mormon. I think Whitney and Heather should just shh, because you don't want to like piss anybody off. This y'all first season. Let's make sure y'all can get a second one. Let's just leave the Mormon and the swingers and the polygamy shit out of it. Oh my God, so this is a stupid question. They were asking Jen, why would you pick on Meredith's child, Brooks? First of all, Brooks is a grown-ass man. He acts like a privileged-ass white boy, but he's a 21-year-old man. And all Jen said was, all these looks are exactly the same. And if they were, so I don't think it was shade on Jen's part. They were literally the same. And the only reason his privileged ass was presenting because of his mom. Now, Jim was wrong a lot this season, but, not in every case. Meredith just can't help herself. Like, she looks so robotic. Like, maybe it's just like the work in her face or something like that, but she gives android tease. Seriously. No emotion in her face. And also, as much as Brooks tried to be a part of this show, even having confessionals, he wanted to be a housewife, okay? So, if anybody has a critique on him, it should be warranted. Ooh, these questions are so messy. Andy knows what the fuck he doing. He knows. Now, here's something I didn't know. Now, the birthday party that Jen threw for Meredith in the beginning of the season, it was Lisa's birthday that day, too. And they just took out that whole plot point. I'm not sure why production did that. Like, they took out every single mention of Lisa saying it was her birthday. That would have been a good plot, too. Like, how awkward is that? Like, it's one of your best friend's birthday a day ago, and then you're going to a party celebrating her, and it's your birthday, too. Especially when Meredith told Jen that was going to be Lisa's birthday too. So now we have Lisa versus Heather, and it was like the cold shoulder that Lisa gave Heather. But Lisa's saying that Heather was the one that gave her the cold shoulder. Sorry, Lisa. It looked like you definitely blew off Heather. And Heather with the comeback, it was just so shady and sarcastic. I love Heather. I think she's my favorite. Oh! I'm going to talk for a minute, so I need you to stop. Okay, Lisa. All right. Where was this during the season? How is Lisa telling people, roll footage, it was recorded. It was recorded. And sure enough, we have production rolling the footage for us. Could you imagine how silly that is? Like, if you're in the reunion and there's no tape available, you just tell, roll the footage. We are only 10 minutes in, y'all. I'm kind of enjoying myself. Damn, Heather, I'm a good time girl, but I'm a lot more fun than this mess. And then Andy wants to move on, and Lisa's like, we're not moving on. Okay, so now we have Lisa versus Whitney, and they're talking about how judgmental Lisa has been towards Whitney. You know, about how she be dancing, how she be twerking on the stripper pole. And Whitney in that cute voice, she's just like,
I don't think she's jealous of me. I just think she thinks she's better than me.
with like a big ass smile. And I agree with Whitney. Lisa does think she's better than Whitney. Oh my God, production, why y'all keep dropping the ball? Like, now we see that they took out footage of Lisa doing a split. Like, I'm guessing they wanted to keep the storyline of Lisa just being a judgmental bitch at the party. That would have been a fun scene. Why did they take that out? So now first we're on Jen's reel, and you know how she's been the entire season, you know, all her blow-ups, you know, all her extraness. So they're getting into Jen's plastic surgery, or plastic surgery allegations. They're just asking, Jen, what did you do to your face? It looks like Heather's the one that gave her those fillers, judging by Heather's face, because I think they both need to put the needle down on those fillers. So Jen gets asked, why do you have 4 assistants? Like, what do they do? And she kind of calmly just says, like, well, they all have their different roles. And she kind of explains what she does. But then, again, I'm like Heather. She was just like, oh, I still don't know what she does, even though she told me. But it looks cool. And I don't like this question he just asked her about, oh, well, your husband isn't the head coach, so why can't he make time for you? Excuse me? So she gives a good reason. She says, okay, well, he's an assistant coach, so if he was the coach, then he'd be able to, like, call the shots, but he can't. So that makes sense. Also, Jen is pretty reserved this reunion. Like, way more reserved than she was on the show. Just an observation. More shady ass questions. And Andy know what he doing. Someone just tried to say, well, Jen, for a woman in your 50s, you throw a lot of tantrums. First of all, I'm not in my 50s. Like, damn. So as they're asking Jen about her tantrums, Mary does make a good point. Like, for some reason, my name definitely triggers something in you. Lisa's disagreeing with her, but I'm like, did she watch the show? Like, every time Mary's name was brought up to Jen, Jen would blow up. Oh! Mary catches Lisa. She's like, well, actually, I talked to you about it, and you told me that. Did you not? And yeah, Lisa gets a little tongue-tied. Mary is making sense. I'm going to be honest. I thought Mary wasn't going to be alert in this reunion, but she's on point. So as Lisa tries to gaslight Mary, then Mary's just like, okay, well, Whitney, Heather, does my name trigger her? And then they finally speak up after Mary asks them, because Mary isn't crazy. Well, she is crazy, but we definitely see that Jen gets angry every time Mary is mentioned. Wow, okay, so Mary chimes in when it's Heather and Jen talking about how, you know, Heather is usually a victim when it comes to Jen's friendship. And Mary's just saying, well, you need to stick up for yourself, because that really isn't a real friendship. And she's making sense. I'm just kind of gagged by that. And just a little observation I'm noticing. Meredith is just so quiet over there. Like, she don't speak unless she's spoken to. And that does not work in a Housewives reunion. Ooh, Mary again. She's like, I don't want to be friends with you. Can't you understand that? All right, like, Jen ain't got no comeback. And now we're on the topic of Meredith and Jen and her annoying son Brooks when he said he saw Jen's vagina or whatever. The question was, how did you feel, Jen, when you saw that Brooks told his mom not to be friends with her?
Oh, well, Andy, he did not tell me to not be friends with Jen.
The one time Jen seemed sincere, and I'm going to back her up on this, was when it came to Meredith and her kids. And you can see on here that it hurt her feelings that she heard her kids say that about her. Like, I believe Jen. Like, if Meredith told her her kids had, like, a problem with her or with her behavior, then Jen would have chilled out. But I'm pretty sure Jen had no idea. So Jen says her vagina was not out, and Meredith disagrees with her. So then it looks like Jen kind of outed Meredith as a cigarette smoker. So the tweet that Meredith is referring to that Jen said was, it's completely insane to me that not only did you all see I didn't, but because a white privileged family tells you I did. Well, I mean, Jen didn't lie. Brooks is annoying, he's white privileged, and he's pretentious. And apparently Meredith is trying to one-up Jen on that cigarette revelation and say that, oh yeah, Jen's been recording me without my knowledge, trying to get footage of me smoking. Which is ridiculous, and they're just going to go back and forth. So basically it's just Meredith's word against Jen's. So the question posed to everyone is, can everyone see why Jen flips out and is the way she is? And Meredith's like, yeah, they have all the sympathy for her, but they don't say nothing when I'm the one who's the punching bag. And she calls them all out. Okay, Mary. And then Lisa was like, that's not fair. I'm always kind to you, Mary. And Mary's like, no, you're not. You're not kind to me. Look at Mary. Mary came to play this reunion. Lisa puts her hand like, don't talk to me. And then Mary's like, put your hand down. You will not talk to me with your hand up. I don't care if you are from New York. Don't put your hand up at me. And I'm glad Mary's calling out Lisa's fakeness. Lisa is phony. The only person she likes on this cast is Meredith. So now we're on Lisa's reel for the season, and I mean, we all know Lisa was uninteresting. She thought she was better than everybody, hella pretentious, totally unself-aware, and extremely judgmental. So of course the first question is like how she treats her kids, because we see, you know, all they get is like big gulps. You see them with Buffalo Wild Wings. They eating junk food in the morning. So they're questioning her as a mother, and honestly, I am shocked by this moment, but Lisa actually showed emotion. She started crying and she was talking about her kids. She was like, that is my trigger, my kids. This is the only time in the entire season that I've seen Lisa be this genuine. The question posed to Lisa is, seeing how you came off on TV, do you think you are like, you come off holier than thou? And of course she says, no, I don't. And me and Heather have the same response, like, girl, ooh, they are coming for her. It is Mary, Whitney, and Heather all tag teaming Lisa about her holier than thou attitude. Oh my God, Lisa, can you please just listen to them? Like, they're telling you how you come off. Like you have a problem with self-awareness, like you don't have any. So Mary's trying to talk to Lisa, and Jen interjects. Mary's like, no one's talking to you, and continues her conversation. Jen has been quiet this entire reunion, y'all. Y'all notice this? Miss Rah-Rah, I'm the queen of this franchise all season, ain't got nothing to say. Mary has been gathering the girls. Now, Mary, I was on board with you, girl, but I don't make people feel less than. People at your church, all of them. Your poor maid that you're related to. Come on. Like, I was with you, but no, girl. Ooh, and that was a trigger word. Lisa brings up the real and says, well, your church, we see it. And then Mary ain't having, she was like, well, don't talk about my church. I don't talk about your alcohol. For some reason, I'm not sure why that was such like a big on Lisa's face. Wow, we actually have a Lisa versus Mary. Like, we really have a balanced reunion. You have Mary versus Jen, Mary versus Lisa, Mary calling out all the girls. You got Heather versus Lisa, Whitney and Heather versus Lisa, Lisa versus Whitney. Like, it's a lot. This is all coming out of just the ladies trying to tell Lisa that she's dismissive, and it's turned into this whole whirlwind argument. So now we're back to Lisa versus Whitney, and they're bickering over the bartender that Lisa gifted to Whitney's event. And then Whitney just pulls out the receipts. You want to see it? You want to see the text messages? And unfortunately, the paper she printed out the text on is illegible. So Andy's like, girl, I can't read this. I'm going to have to give it back to you. Thanks for playing, though. Wait a minute. So Andy can get up without his mask, but no one else can? Or is that a new rule? Oh, Mary is coming for everybody. She's like, I don't even think Heather likes me anyway. And Heather's face, I wish I could like snap this, but you know, I don't want to create more work for myself. But Heather's face when Mary said that is priceless. I care actually about what Mary is saying. It is crazy. Who is this that showed up to work today? Oh my God, I love me some Heather. She's like, what else have I called you besides a bitch? And frankly, you are. Oh my God. Get her, Heather. Oh, This argument between Lisa and Heather, damn, I did not think it was going to be that spicy. And then we ended on that argument. I'm very surprised, y'all. This was a really good first part reunion. Like, y'all heard me in the last episode saying 3 parts, and now I am all in. Like, the MVP was Mary. Mary! Really? I'm shocked. I am gagged. And then, second MVP, Lisa. What show am I watching? And of course, I love Heather and Whitney. Meredith and Jen were the crickets. Wow. It's expected of Meredith, but I was really surprised Miss Rah-Rah was just sitting there quiet and then shut up when Mary told her to. So yeah, this was really good. And y'all heard that season 2 is confirmed. But yeah, that was my review, y'all. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Can't wait for part 2 next week. And then the premiere of Jersey. Woo! All these videos to edit. Damn. Anywho, I'm going to try my best to get this out as soon as possible. So I will see y'all soon. Bye.